Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you so much for coming on this Saturday evening to our temple. Is there anyone here for the first time?
Yeah.
Very nice. Where are you guys from? Where are you from? You're in Mesa? And what about you?
12370 Kannur country.
That's an exact address. Thank you.
La Jolla.
La Jolla. And
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake. Wow. Welcome. Hare Krishna. And has anyone heard of this beautiful text known as Srimad Bhagavatam? This is Mahapurana. Srimad Bhagavatam will be speaking about a pastime, which is we can say that this is one of the most well-known pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. The chapter 12 of the first canto, known as the birth of Emperor Parikshit. But before I continue, I'll just say a prayer. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishtai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvichesha Shunyavari Paschate Vesha Tarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we will be reading chapter 12, first canto, and one of the texts here. This is text number 27. I'll chant the Sanskrit and then translation in the purport. Takshaka tatmanam rityum dvijaputro pasajitat praptasyata upasritya mukta sangha padam hare. Translation: after hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by a son of a Brahmana, he will get himself freed from all material attachment and surrender unto the personality of Godhead, taking shelter of him. Mukta Sangha Padam Hare. So this is Mukta Sangha, freedom from all attachment. This is the position that Maharaj Parikshit will reach. Mukta Sangha Padam Hare. And Prapatasite, this is having taken shelter of. Upashutya, after hearing. So this is the pastime where Parikshit is hearing the narration of Srimad Bhagavatam within 7 days, and he is taken shelter completely in that process of hearing. And we know that if we hear something attentively, we will be ready to follow and implement this hearing knowledge in our life. So we see that Parikshit Maharaj is very attentive in hearing the matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. The purport: material attachment and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord go ill together. Material attachment means ignorance of transcendental happiness under the shelter of the Lord. A lot of noises today. Devotional service to the Lord while existing in the material world is a way to practice one's transcendental relation with the Lord. And when it is matured, one gets completely free from all material attachment and becomes competent to go back home, back to Godhead. So devotional service, we begin from various stages. We can be completely new to this practice, but come in contact with this Daiva Prakriti, this internal energy of the Supreme, is an opportunity for all of us to get purified and to get this affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the goal of human life, to satisfy Krishna. And Shravanam, Kirtanam, we do Shravanam, we do Kirtanam, Smaranam. There are 9 processes that we can perform. But of course, it all starts by hearing, because if we don't start hearing about the Lord, about His glorious pastimes, activities, then nothing can really start moving towards affection towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So hearing is very important. And Maharaj Parikshit is one of the great examples in this in the Bhagavatam, that simply by hearing, by Shravanam, you can become completely surrendered to the Lord. Prapasyata upasritya, as mentioned in this text. So Maharaj Parikshit, being especially attached to the Lord from the beginning of his body, in the womb of his mother, was continuously under the shelter of the Lord. And the so-called warning of his death within 7 days from the date of the curse by the Brahmana's son was a boon to him, to enable him to prepare himself to go back home, back to Godhead. So one advantage that Maharaj Parikshit had is that he knew within which time he will leave his body. He had 7 days. Not all of us have that advantage, right? We don't know when that crucial moment will happen. So Srimad Bhagavatam, this narration prepares us not only how to live this life, but also how to die. It's a very important part of existence. Preparation for death. So since he was always protected by the Lord, he could have avoided the effect of such a curse by the grace of the Lord, but he did not take such undue advantage for nothing. So Maharaj Parikshit, he knew when he will die, and he was a great king, and he was realized he was a pure devotee of Krishna. So he could have asked the Lord to help him to prolong his existence, prolong his life, but he didn't do that. And there are reasons why he didn't do that. Does anyone know the reasons why he didn't do that? One of the most important reasons is that devotees are very humble, so they do not want to ask any undue favor from Krishna. And they accept the current of time, how time is passing. They are not trying to oppose against it. So Maharaj Parikshit is doing that here. So he did not take such undue advantage for nothing. Rather, he made the best use of a bad bargain. For 7 days continuously, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source, and thus he got shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord by that opportunity. So he received the shelter of the Lord, and simply by hearing, as I mentioned. And just to give us a little understanding of what's happening here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, I will just briefly mention. So in the first text, actually, if we go to, I believe in the 4th chapter, the sages of Naimisharanya, led by Shanaka Rishi, they're wondering about how is that Maharaj Parikshit was able to achieve perfection simply by hearing. And how is that he was saved by the Lord? They're wondering this. How is that he was able to be saved from Brahmastra weapon? So, Srila Prabhupada explains in the first text the series of pastimes that took place before this. One of which is that we see that Brahmastra was released by the son of Jonah, Dronacharya. Does anyone remember the son of Dronacharya who released that Brahmastra, the weapon of Brahmastra? Ashwatthama, yes. Ashwatthama did that. And he was punished by Arjuna. Krishna wanted Arjuna to kill Ashwatthama. But then Arjuna, he took him, he put him, what do you call it? Bind him up by a rope. He put rope on his hands, and he brought him to Draupadi. And Draupadi, actually being such a cultured Mataji, she offered obeisances. Although we know that Ashwatthama, he killed the sons of Pandavas, the sons of Draupadi. So she offered obeisances to him, and she did not want him to be killed. And eventually, in the course of this pastime, Arjuna, he cut his hair, and that was the jewel on his head, and that was a way to not kill, but also, you can say, release him of this Brahminical tejas, Brahminical power. So what happened? Now, Ashwatthama was released. He's still wandering somewhere in this material world, material creation. But Arjuna, out of this feeling, Draupadi she knew how much suffering that could bring into a life of a woman if you kill someone's son. So she decided to let him go. And after this pastime, when Arjuna protected or released, he followed the will of Draupadi. What happened further is Kunti Devi, she was offering prayers, and then the Pandavas, they visited Bhishmadev, who was lying on the bed of arrows, and they listened to his instructions to Maharishi Yudhishthira. And then Krishna went to Dwarka, and then he arrived there. All the residents greeted him. These narrations were given before the appearance of Maharaj Parikshit. In this 4th text, Sutta Goswami says that Emperor Yudhishthira administered generously to everyone during this reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of the Lord Shri Krishna. So Yudhishthira is the king of Hastinapur, and the greatest duty of a king is to make sure that all the citizens are going towards the path of bhakti, pure devotional service. So he was, that's the dharma of the king. That's one of the main thing that the king does. He's a representative of the Lord. By knowing the science of Krishna, one can become the most perfect man in this world, Srila Prabhupada explains. And unless one has knowledge in this science, all qualifications and doctorate diplomas acquired by academic education are spoiled and useless. This is quite straightforward, but we see that the topmost education is to become a servant of the Lord, to know the science of Krishna. So, Maharaj Parikshit was personally protected by Vishnu. He's known as Vishnu Rata. And the Lord appeared in the womb of Uttadevi as Angushta. He was a size of a thumb. And he was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful, blackish, infallible body. And he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus he was seen by the child. But then, right when he was seen by the child, immediately he disappeared from the vision. The Prabhupada explains that although he did disappear from the vision, still the Lord is present and available to all of us, all the devotees of the Lord, in the form of Archa Vigraha, for example, or in the form of the holy name, in the form of devotional service to the Lord, because we know that performing devotional service is not different from Krishna. So, Prabhupada says Parikshit disappeared, but it doesn't mean that he disappeared from the spot entirely. He appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there, and even after his disappearance, he was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. And when Maharaj Parikshit took birth, he was all throughout his life he was looking for Krishna in everyone. He went searching for him. He appeared when there was a great alignment of auspicious moment, a great alignment of the stars, good constellations of the stars. As we know that the Lord and His devotees always appeared at the proper time, at the auspicious time. Appearance of the Lord is called Jayanti. And King Yudhishthira was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, although he wasn't, in the beginning, he was feeling a little bit insecure and unsure whether this Maharaj Parikshit would be qualified to take up the position of a king, being the king of Hastinapur. But he did perform a sacrifice to first he performed the sacrifice to the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, and then he gave charity to the Brahmanas. And Brahmanas were glorifying the position of Maharaj Parikshit. They were comparing him to Arjuna, Ramachandra, Ishvaku. Maharaj Ishvaku, he directly heard the science of Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. And that is a nice comparison. Now Maharaj Parikshit is also directly hearing the science of Sanatana Dharma from Shukadeva Swami. So there's glorification of the Brahmanas. The king, being the representative of the Lord, must possess this attitude of giving protection to the surrendered souls at all risks. So the Lord, or the king, as the Lord, he gives protection. And let's see this. In the Bhagavatam, or the Brahmanas, they compared this child to King Shibi in Ushina country, and also to Bharata of Dushyanta, Maharaj Dushyanta. And Prabhupada goes on to explain why exactly in this purports, why this comparison is given to this Maharaj Parikshit. It's quite lengthy purports here. But one comparison that I outlined was interesting. It's compared to the Himalayan mountains. And he says he will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. So we know that the Himalayan mountains, we can take devotees. Mostly it's Ekadanta sannyasis. They come to Himalayas, and they take shelter of the mountains because there's so many caves and there's so much berries and fruit and food in general, and also there's minerals and spring water. So the mountains can give shelter to someone who is a renounced devotee, renounced practitioner. So this is the comparison of Maharaj Parikshit. He will be as strong as a lion and worthy of shelter as the Himalayan mountains. Both the materialist and spiritualist can take advantage of the great shelter of the Himalayas. On the surface of the earth, there are so many disturbances caused by the inhabitants. And in the modern age, people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth. And still the earth is so forbearing. We see that there's so much going on. People are getting petroleum from the earth. There's so many wars taking place, and Mother Earth, she's being hurt by these actions. But still she's so forbearing, she still continues on giving. Parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. An ideal king may be possessed of all these good qualities, and the child Parikshit is foretold of all these qualities in perfection. And our parents also, they're so tolerant if a child misbehaves. They can tolerate so many things. If a child slaps his mother, parents would just tolerate and wouldn't react as if it was done by someone else. So this act of tolerance, they say that the love of a mother towards the children is the strongest type of love in this material world, very close to the love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotee. So we see that these qualities of Maharaj Parikshit are wonderful. He resembling them, all of these qualities. And the child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become a great as King as Arantidev, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati. So this is a description. Association with fire makes an object hot. And therefore, association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead through hearing also makes us purify our existence. The child will be the father of kings who will be like sages for world peace, and for the sake of religion, he will be the chastiser of the upstarts and the quarrelsome. He also will be, this child will be like Bali Maharaj in patience, and staunch devotee of Lord Krsna like Prahlad Maharaj. One thing that I liked about this purport is that Maharaj Parikshit, being especially attached to the Lord from the beginning of his body in the womb of his mother, was continuously under the shelter of the Lord. So he's always under the shelter simply by hearing the message of Krishna and by wanting to see, seeking the attention, the association of the Lord. As when the moment when he came out of the womb, he was always seeking that association. So from this pastime we can learn many things. Most importantly, we can learn that spiritual life begins by hearing. And if we follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit by attending classes of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, by coming to the temple for Krishna Katha, we can also get that attraction for the Lord. And our spiritual life will be real, factual. We can directly understand and perceive that Krishna and his qualities are very attractive. And in this age, process is simplified for us. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can do that, especially if we come together for this practice. And that practice was given to us by Uttama Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, Kevala Bhakta. He is the one who brought this Krishna consciousness to the Western world. From very birth, he was resembling these qualities of Maharaj Parikshit, his great attraction for the message of Bhagavan. And when he came to the Western world, he appeared in Boston, Massachusetts first. He came from the Jaladuta. And in 1965, September 17th, he arrived in Boston on the board of that ship. And exactly we celebrate on this day today is the arrival day of Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON. We had a little discussion today and this morning for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. And I wanted to emphasize a few things what Srila Prabhupada felt when he came to America. Probably you're familiar with his feelings of separation from Vrindavan and how he noticed the modes of nature, the gunas interacting right before Srila Prabhupada, especially the modes of ignorance and passion, and how he wanted to be completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, feeling very incapable of doing anything if Krishna doesn't help him. So that is a very great example of a staunch devotee of Krishna who risked his life. He was at the age of 69, almost 70, when he went on that Jaladuta ship. And actually, there were only a few people who wished him good luck and went there to give him a farewell. One of those people was his son. And he was, at some point, devotees asked him, what were you feeling when you saw your father go into the Western world without any connection, without any idea what you will do, with only 40 rupees in your pockets and Srimad Bhagavatam Satsiyat. suitcases of Bhagavatam sets. That's the first canto, this exact canto in 3 parts. And he said that I was feeling very proud for my father, which is a very nice thing to say. So Srila Prabhupada was not encouraged by anyone to come here. It was a very bold act of sacrifice. He was sacrificing his life to do it. So in this Markan Bhagavad Dharma, this poem that he wrote, this is mentioned that he's composed this poem in the language of Bengali, and he's praying for the deliverance of the fallen souls. There's a few verses here. It's quite a lengthy one, but he also quotes some text from Srimad Bhagavatam, but I mentioned something that stands out. I'll read the English translation. He says, "My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here, otherwise why would you bring me to this terrible place?" So if you surrender to the will of the Lord, you understand that no matter where you end up, there's always some preaching business and opportunity created by the Supreme Lord for you. So Srila Prabhupada is feeling like that. I came here for the reason of being engaged in service. That's the only reason. Because being 70 years old, why would you come to a country like America, especially if you're very much attached to service of the Lord and you are a sannyasi? What else would you come to America? This is how Srila Prabhupada is feeling. Most of the people here are covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. Therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they'll be able to understand it. Prabhupada is expressing that I do not know how these people who are absorbed in materialistic pursuit, how will they be able to understand it? Most of you in America for a while, right? You see how people are really just running full speed to get the material things. We were in Delmar. Anyone ever been to Delmar before? There's a park. You know that what is it called? Powerhouse? What is it? Powerhouse, exactly. Powerhouse Park. You've attended that in the summer? Anyone been there this summer? Powerhouse Park. This enjoyment spirit there is so strong. It's unbelievable. And we were there for one reason of sharing and inspiring people to take books such as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the only reason why we would go there. But I was just completely not shocked because I've seen it before, but again, this confirmation came to my mind how people are really allured and attached to enjoy materially. It's very, very unpleasant actually to see for someone who is trying to develop affection for the beauty of Krishna, his transcendental form. So there's a lot of nudity and people who are just in a bodily consciousness. So that was a challenging moment of today's, but we had some success by Krishna's mercy. So being dependent on the Lord means that we accept the will of the Lord and we want to please Him by all means, by all endeavors. And pure devotional service, remembering Krishna, it means every second. If you speaking from Shastra, it means unwavering, avyabhicharina. It means that we're constantly remembering Krishna. So that's the position of Uttama Bhakta, position of someone like Srila Prabhupada. He was constantly remembering the Lord. And even though he was in America, he always felt great intimate connection with Krishna and Vrindavan Dham. So I'll read a few things and we'll end here because we don't want to be a long class. We all had a long day, and I'm sure you're looking forward to prasadam. So we'll be serving prasadam soon outside. So, but I know, Srila Prabhupada says in this poem, I know you Constant's mercy can make everything possible. Srila Prabhupada has complete faith in Krishna, because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy, so that I will be able to convince them about your message. Let's see. He says, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and most fallen. Therefore, I'm seeking your benediction so that I can convince them. I'm powerless to do so on my own. Prabhupada is really praying to be able to reach the hearts of this people in the Western world. Okay, so I'll conclude here by these two more prayers. It says, "Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, and make me dance, oh Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I've been designated as Bhakti Vedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta." So Bhakti Vedanta being in knowledge of the Lord at the lotus feet of Krishna. The purport of Bhakti Vedanta means to bring as many people as you can, as you can, under the lotus feet of the Lord, and inspire people everywhere you go to become devotees of Krishna, and also accept this path of Bhagavad Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. And in this age, we know that chanting the holy name, discussing, glorifying Krishna, attempting to do so, it's a great advantage. In the Srimad Bhagavatam we learn that this day, by rising, the sun by rising and by setting, takes away the life of people day by day. And the destination, of course, is not very pleasant. Bhava Roga, it's called. It's a repeated birth and death. It's compared to the ocean in Bhagavad Gita. Mritu, samsara vartmani. But those people who are fortunate, Vishnu Jans, who become attracted to the message of Vasudeva and the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, their destination is different. And actually, when the sun rises and sets, devotees are not so worried, because death is explained. Time takes away the life of an individual. It represents Krishna. So those who are devotees of Krishna, they are not afraid of death, because the destination is different. Its destination is not bhava or attachment for this cycle of life, material enjoyment, but bhava towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So come into the temple and together as family, as friends, Krishna should be in the center, and as much as we can, we should remind others of that and ourselves. And the best way to do that, we learn in the Brahmacharya ashram, is by chanting the names of the Lord early in the morning. When you get up, first thing that we do, we offer a prayer to our spiritual teachers. Some devotees offer prayers to Mother Bhumi for tolerating that we're stepping on her and creating so much trouble. So this is our position. So let's chant one Hare Krishna mantra together, and wish that Srila Prabhupada give us necessary blessings and mercy to continue progressing in spiritual life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I only have one last request. Today is a day of Srila Prabhupada's arrival. In our temple, we are eager to preach and help people. So we have Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a complete set of 12 cantos, 18 volumes. And today we'd like to ask you one question. Do you have a copy, a set of Srimad Bhagavatam in your house? Raise your hand if you do. Wonderful. Raise your hand if you don't. I'd like to encourage you to get a set today. It's not very costly. It's affordable. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is known as, and this is Brahma Samhita, or Grantha Avatar of the Lord. All the wonderful pastimes of devotees of the Lord are explained, mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam gives us purity of heart. And simply by hearing this great message of Srimad Bhagavatam, actually the Supreme Lord is established in the heart. So we'd like to encourage you to take a copy. Would you like to take the whole set of Srimad Bhagavatam? Please raise your hand if you would. Prabhu, please. Today. Would you like to get one? Maybe think about it. Thank you for hearing this little discussion. Appreciate your attention. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.